These notes are on using your graphing calculator in order to graph an explicit equation. So your calculator may look similar to mine, or it may look slightly different. As long as it is a TI 84 or 83, plus or not plus, silver edition, not silver edition, you should be fine with these notes. If you have a different calculator, you may need to talk to your teacher or bring in a manual. So the first thing is you turn on your calculator. I'm going to graph the function y equals 2 times 3 to the x. So in order to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is go to the y equals button. On this screen, I have a bunch of places where I can input equations. So the equation I'm using is 2 times 3. And then in order to get it to be a power, I have to use this button here under the clear button. It looks like it's called a caret. It looks like a sideways inequality. And then I use the variable x. The variable x is right here underneath the mode button. I'm now in a position where I can graph this function. So I'm going to press graph. It's going to take a minute, depends on your calculator. Now, I have a lovely graph here of an exponential function. We can see that lovely exponential shape. However, maybe I want to see it in a slightly different screen. So in order to change the window, the screen, how big or small I'm seeing the function, I would go to Window. And then I have all of these options. Min meaning smallest, max meaning biggest, SCL meaning scale, how much are you counting each box by, and that happens for the X values and the Y values. So let's say I want to see, maybe I don't care so much about the negative X values, maybe I care much more about the positive X values. So maybe I want to go out and see out to 15. And then maybe I don't really care about the negative because the way this particular exponential function doesn't go below the y-axis. So I'll leave that one as is. But maybe in my y max, I want to go really big. So let's go out to 1,000. And let's go press the graph button and see what that does. So what I can see here is that I'm still missing the part of the graph that's all this portion, and I have too much over here. So maybe I'll go back to my window and just play with this a little bit more. Maybe I'll go back down to the x max being 10, but maybe I'll get rid of some of these negative x's. Maybe I'll start at negative 2. And then for my y's, I might actually want to see higher than 1,000. So maybe I'll say 10,000 and just kind of see what that does. So I'm now, I can't see the bottom so well, but I am getting to see the side here where it's going out to the bigger X values. So the point of this is that your calculator will only show you the piece of the graph you ask it to show. And so you're going to need at times to play with the window in order to see the portion of the graph you want. One other last thing about your window. If you go to the second format, just go to zoom, go to the zoom button, to the middle gray button at the top. If you just want to see like the standard window that you normally see, -10 to +10 on the x-axis and the y-axis, you can always go to the zoom button and then either press 6, because that's ZStandard, or move the cursor down to 6 and press enter. And now I'm back to this standard window of -10 to +10 on the x and y axis.